Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Welcome into the Steelers Talk Live Show. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. That is your producer, Jeffrey Cooperstein. Coop, how are you doing this week, man? We got some great Steelers content lined up for the Yinzers this afternoon.
I am well, Spare Dog. There's a lot of good stuff going on here in Steelers Nation, and we will talk about all of this, but I want to start off on today's show by talking about Andrew Filippone.
Filippone, yes.
What a joke.
Well, it wasn't as much of a joke today. He actually had something that was
an
legit.
Announcement of an announcement.
Yeah, it was an
That's a joke?
So if you guys don't know, Pony went on his X account during the middle of the AFC Championship game, and he was like, I got big news for you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. And it turns out it was just the Art Rooney press conference. And,
big news.
And, it was kind of a secret press conference, so I kind of get why he did that.
No cameras there.
But no cameras, no, outside audience. It was just reporters there and no cameras.
But we'll have you covered with everything that's said.
Yes, but today during our News and Rumors segment, we've got you covered on everything Art Rooney said about the quarterback situation, laid some hints down there for us for what the Steelers are going to do at the position this offseason. He gave his reasoning why he's keeping Mike Tomlin on as head coach.
Yep.
We'll break down what he has said about that. And then also he says to expect the Steelers to give TJ Watt a massive contract extension this offseason. So I know some people have been advocating for the Steelers to trade him because he's on the last year of his contract. He's getting older. You can still get a first-round draft pick for him, et cetera, et cetera. But it seems like the Steelers really cherish TJ Watt, and they're going to make him a Steeler for life. Also, later on in today's show, we got the latest Steelers draft rumors. Daniel Jeremiah of the NFL Network dropped his first mock draft of the season. Also, we've got some other players that have been connected to the Pittsburgh Steelers in recent days. And then, yes, we are bringing back our weekly mailbags. We haven't had a mailbag here on Steelers Talk Live in a little while, but you guys have an opportunity to get your questions on today's live show. And the way that you get your questions on today's live show is you guys go hashtag Steelers down there in the live chat along with your question. So, for example, you guys can go hashtag Steelers. Why are the Steelers bringing back Mike Tomlin? Or whatever question that you want. All you have to do is use hashtag Steelers for a chance to get your question on the show.
I decide.
And then Coop decides, but if you guys super chat, Coop doesn't get to decide, all right?
Within reason.
Within reason, yes. If you super chat, your question will get on the show this afternoon. Any amount, $1, $2. If you want to guarantee your question gets on the mailbag later today, make sure you guys super chat, and don't forget to use hashtag Steelers for other questions that you guys can get on the show as well. So I want to see all the real ones down there in the chat right now. Type those real ones in the chat if you are one of the 150 people already watching live. We've got Joshua here. We've got George Adams, John Stevenson. Good to see you, John. We got Mason Engelby. Good to see you, Mason. Fisher Productions. Ali the Reaper. Pizza is good. Wobble is here. Brock Walker. Good to see you, Brock. We got Dead. We've got Blake. We've got Ben. We've got King Yinzer, Anthony Fuller. We are not worthy, my friend.
We have Cassie.
We have Cassie, of course, as always. The lovely Cassie Voth, my girlfriend, helping us out.
Oh, yeah.
As always. We got Paranormal in the Funhouse. Haven't seen you in a while, Paranormal. Good to see you. Chuck Dugan is here. Edgar is here. Offsides Edits is here. Andrew Saminsky's here. Vaughn Moody is here. DK the Yinzer's here. Got a good crew. We got Dwayne Johnson in here.
The Rock.
We got The Rock in here. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Man, we got a great crew of Steelers fans in this chat room today to talk some Steelers football with us. Before we get into the content, though, a quick word from our sponsors today. First up, Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. It's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. It's just for the first purchase, guys. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. And then our other sponsor on today's live show is Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup when you download the Prize Picks app today. Prize Picks, run your game. If you guys want to get your question on the show and guarantee your question gets on the show, you guys can send in a super chat. And here's all the things that you guys can purchase with our donation menu this afternoon. Any super chat, you get on the show. Plain and simply, guys, we're going to give you guys some love. If you're going to spend any of your hard-earned money on this channel and you're going to help us out, we are going to show you guys some love on this channel and put you up on screen next to me. $5 super chat, we'll wave the towel for you. Go give you a here we go Steelers. $10 will spin the wheel. Coop, you got a bunch of good items on the wheel this week.
I do.
You?
I'm actually pulling it up right now. I forgot to get it set up, so let me do that real
And then
quick.
actually, it's not $50, Coop. $20 for 3 wheel spins and 10 push-ups. So if you guys want to give me a workout today, get those $20 super chats rolling in. And also, we'll give you guys 3 wheel spins. We got a bunch of great stuff on there. We got push-ups, we got jumping jacks, we've got bean boozleds, we've got shots. We've got a bunch of fun stuff on the wheel. So if you want to spin the Steelers Talk wheel here on Steelers Talk Live, $10 and $20 respectively. Appreciate all of your guys' support. And also make sure you guys give us or send in your donations via Venmo, Cashapp, or PayPal. I really do appreciate your guys' support on those because we get to keep more of the proceeds. We're not going to tell you no and not to Super Chat, but when you guys send in your money via Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal, we get to keep like 40% more of the money. So thank you guys so much for supporting us on Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. You can find me at Jack-Sperry on Venmo, money sign Captain Jack 19 on Cash App, or at Captain Jackrabbit on PayPal. And Coop, let those people know about what our Black Diamond Club entails, and let's show off all of the new stickers that we have.
I would love to. Our Black Diamonds are people who have donated $500 on a singular stream or have had their sticker donated by generous people such as Platinum666 or Kurgan Cold, which you see on your screen. And we know that's a very exclusive club, but what it entails is you get your customized sticker on every single show. So if you super chat, we'll show your sticker there as well. And you get a customized jersey that's very well wear during the season, during our watch parties. Unfortunately, no more watch parties for this season, but hopefully we will have some watch parties here in the near future to do so. And maybe next season, I would like to have some watch parties in January as well, Spare Dog, at least more than one.
Yeah, absolutely. We're also probably going to be doing some Paul Skeens watch parties once baseball gets going again. When you guys had a ton of fun with those Paul Skeens watch parties. So Jack and I, Jack Latteray and I, will probably get those going for you guys again in the spring. Depending on how the Pens do this season, we might do some playoff hockey stuff as well.
No way!
But we'll see what happens. We're going to have some fun this offseason, that's for damn sure. But we've got free agency, we got draft, we still got a bunch of big live shows coming up during the offseason, and we are going to be going live during the offseason every Monday and Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So thank you guys so much for watching the show. We got Dylan Lewandowski. I see he got in here. Lucas Skew is here. We got I Am Pooh, Urza1 Alpha. We got all the people in the chat today. All the regulars are here, which is something you love to see. All right, now, before we get into our first segment, guys, I need you to spam those me's for
the right
me
name?
down there in the comment section. No, it's I don't know why I put Jeffrey.
I don't either.
It's there.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I don't know why I put Jeffrey in there. I guess you're just on my mind, Coop.
I guess
But
so.
make sure you guys spam those me's right now. Give all the shout-outs. We got Lucas Skew, Elevate LTs, I Am Pooh, Wobble. We've got DJ KJ, Offsides Edits, Eric Brown, Mason Engelby, Fisher Productions, Mr. Deadhead. We've got Ben. We've got Eric. We've got Brock Walker, Ollie the Reaper, Dino, Donald Jr., Dylan Lewandowski. What's up, Dylan? Good to see ya. Got Hybrid God. We've got Von Moody. We've got Michael. We've got DK the Yinzer. Appreciate all of you guys for supporting the show today. Can we get to 50 likes before we get into our first segment today, guys? We already got 180 people watching live. Can we get to 50 likes here before we get into our first segment? By the way, we're getting ready to spin the wheel to kick off today's show, Coop, because we just got our first $10 Venmo of the day, and it is Mr. Luke Askew. Let's go.
Shout out to Luke, baby.
There he is, Luke Askew, one of my favorite stickers of the steel curtain right there. $10 from Mr. Luke Askew. So let's spin the wheel for Mr. Askew here to kick off today's show. Let's get it going. By the way, guys, we got a bunch of great Steelers content coming your way this week. Lots of wide receiver stuff. Oh, baby, we just got another super chat Venmo coming in.
Another one.
So we got the we do have the wheel, right?
We do have it set up.
Sounds
I
good.
just got to get the graphic cropped correctly.
10-4. just got a super chat as well, so we'll get that going. Lucas Q says, love the show. Luke, we love you.
Appreciate you, Luke.
John Stevenson is in the chat. We got Ben. We got Dwayne Johnson. And look at the results of this poll that we got, Coop. We've got this poll saying which quarterback has the best chance of leading the Steelers to a Super Bowl next year. Justin Fields, Matthew Stafford, Russell Wilson, or Sam Darnold. Justin Fields has 60% of the vote.
Yeah, I love you guys. You're a little crazy for that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if Justin Fields hits, I mean, what is this? Uh-oh. By the way, the boot one, we have to hit
3 times.
We have to hit the boot one 3 times.
Yeah.
All right, first one. So that's the first one. All right, so we need 2 more boots. We need 2 more times to get it on boots.
We've got plenty of wheel spins to get to.
Goodness gracious. All right. So we did get another Venmo here, Coop.
Yep, we'll go to that here in a moment.
So we'll get to that in a moment. We also have a couple super chats coming in. Dylan Lewandowski says, are we really going to get Stafford? I just don't know. I don't think we're going to get Stafford. I'm just saying, like, out of those 4 quarterbacks, I think Stafford gives you the best chance.
Absolutely, he gives you the best
Justin
chance.
Fields last year was at best a top 25 quarterback in the league.
That's being generous.
That's being generous. Now, could he take a big step forward and become a top 10 guy, top 5 guy?
Sure.
He's got the potential to. It'd be phenomenal if he did. I think he's a great kid. I think that he deserves to be a franchise quarterback in this league with somebody. But he's going to have to prove it. And I just think, if you have an opportunity to get like a bona fide top 10 quarterback in the game in Matthew Stafford, you got to take the chance. I don't know. That's just me, though, guys. We got Black and Yellow Podcast as our first and GP for a top 10 first, then draft a quarterback. No, this is not the quarterback class to be taking a quarterback. It's just not. I think that you got to wait till 2026. You don't go with Fields, go with Russ, go with Darnold, go with whoever you think is the best option out there. But I think 2026, if you're going to take another quarterback in round 1, I think you got to wait another season because I just don't really believe in Shadur Sanders. Cam Ward has his kind of question marks as well.
Draft Jalen Milroe round 4.
And Jalen Milroe. I'll be okay with Milroe in round 4. I'd be okay with that. But, I think that if you're going to go with the raw upside, I'd rather go with Fields.
Yeah, probably.
He's got bigger hands. He's way faster. He's got a stronger arm. All these different things. Plus, he's got NFL experience. $20 from my man DJ KJ. Says, why are we bringing back Mike Tomlin after how the past 10 or so years of the same thing without a Super Bowl? And also, what is the standard anymore, especially since this is the result? Sorry for the long message, LOL.
My answer is pretty simple. The grass isn't always greener.
The grass isn't always greener, but it could be greener.
Could be.
And, I'm kind of sick and tired of people giving that argument, Coop, because it's like you've been stuck in place for almost a decade now.
I don't disagree.
And it's like, when is the grass going to get greener with Mike Tomlin? I mean, right now it's like semi-green, but it's like, this is the Pittsburgh fucking Steelers we're talking about here, man. Like, this is a blue blood franchise. This is one of, the most iconic sports franchises on the entire planet. And we're just okay, making the playoffs and having no shot to win these playoff games because we don't have a good enough offense. And, it is Mike Tomlin's fault, or at least in part that this offense isn't good enough year in and year out. So, DJ, I'm actually going to answer this question in full on our mailbag. Then we got Anthony Fuller, King Yinzer. We are not worthy. And he says, bring Justin Fields back, but give him the VR. And Anthony was watching our VR video.
Yes, he
there.
was.
So thank you for watching that video, Anthony. I agree. If you're bringing in the VR technology, I'm all in on bringing in Justin Fields.
I just don't know if the Steelers will invest in it.
Exactly. That's my concern.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Steelers bring it in because they're so old school and they're so cheap. Dylan Lewandowski coming in with a 10, so we got quite a few wheel spins to do.
I believe 7.
Do we want to do them right now?
You tell me.
We'll
half it. We'll do 3 now, and then we'll do 4 later.
Okay, so we got let's do 3 right now. I have to do 20 push-ups because we got 2 20s. So I'll do my first 10 push-ups right now, and we'll get to some more after the first break. But let's spin the wheel here from my man. Are we going to do Dylan's right now? Just do the one for Dylan?
They're all the same. We'll just do 4 wheel spins.
All right, we'll just do 4 wheel spins. That's right, because there's no raffle tickets or anything. 4 wheel spins here. All right, first one. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go, Let's go. All right, so we got 4 wheel spins, and we'll do the other 3. Uh-oh. Get going. Get going, Bar. Get going, Bar. Oh, I got freaking 30 push-ups. God, these things are starting to come up fast. Please don't hit it again. Please don't hit. Oh!
Yeah!
Second one. We only need one more. We only need one more for a boot. Please don't be back on the boot. No.
We'll get it set up at the end of the show.
All right, so I guess we're doing a boot at the end of the show. Is that all 4?
Yeah, we'll just do them all. F it.
All right, let's just.
I'll remove the boot.
Let's just do it all right now.
No more boots.
No, put the boot back on.
Boot back on?
This would be for you, boot.
Oh, okay.
It'd be for boot race if we
Fair
have
enough.
2 boots. But the clock resets. We have to
Okay.
get another 3 for you to have to do a boot. All right, what do we got? No way. 40 push-ups?
40.
I'm already regretting this, man. I'm already regretting today's show. Mike G says, I think it's rigged. I agree, Mike G. I agree. Here we go, Steelers. There we go. There we go. So last one here unless somebody says something.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah.
What is this? Say something nice about the Browns. I'm drawing a blank. I'm drawing a blank.
Myles Garrett isn't bad at football.
Yeah, but he's a douchebag though. I literally can't think of one good thing to say about them. I can't. Their name sucks. Their logo sucks. Their stadium sucks. Their city sucks.
The Browns changed the trajectory of the NFL by firing Bill Belichick.
Yeah. I'll say one. Okay, I got one good thing about the Browns. They always lose to the Steelers. So
They do.
So hey, man,
They do lose to the Steelers
They
a
give
lot.
us a couple easy wins
Yep.
every year. You know what I'm saying? All right, so that's the good thing about the Cleveland Browns, right there. All right, I'm not gonna make you guys wait any longer. Actually, I'm gonna knock out 20 of these push-ups because I'm gonna have a lot of these to do. So if you want to put the camera on me, Coop, before we get into this first segment. We're going to get into the first half of these push-ups. I got to knock out 40 at this point. $10 will spin the wheel. $20 will spin it 3 times. Plus it adds another 10 push-ups to the total. I'm already at 40. So Coop is going to put the camera on me here. We're going to knock out the first 20.
On today's show, we will be talking about the latest Steelers news and rumors, including what Art Rooney had to say. We'll have the latest Steelers draft rumors as well, couple mock drafts, couple of other draft rumors to get to, and then we will answer your questions on today's show at the end. That's what's coming up on today's show, including the calisthenics that Sperry's completing. Yeah!
All right. Getting the blood flowing here. Pause before the show starts.
Why is that a pause?
Let's go. 200 people watching live. Let's get into our first segment here whenever Coop gets it ready. Gary Frank puts in a $2 super chat, says something nice about the Browns. Watson is a great QB. Right.
A great QB of what?
Right, Gary Frank. I think he's being sarcastic. Because he stinks! I mean, you look at all the top categories of the National Football League this year, Deshaun Watson ranks in the bottom 3 in almost every single major category you look at. And that's behind, like, terrible, terrible players. Gary Frank says sarcasm. Yeah, that's what I thought, Gary. That's what I thought. Julio says, sign Saquon Barkley. We need him on the Steelers. Unfortunately, he signed a multi-year deal with the Eagles this year. Anthony Fuller says, we'll work on those push-ups, Sperry. Yes, we will work on those push-ups, all right? So keep sending in the money. The more I'll keep doing more push-ups for you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. It really does help out the channel. Coop, are we about ready to get into this first segment here?
We are. I'm just responding to his Slack real quick.
Sounds good. So I appreciate you, GJ, KJ, Anthony Fuller, Dylan Lewandowski, Anthony Peluso, all the people that have put in money to start today's show. We're already at about around $60, $63 in donations already. So thank you guys so much. Just Webb's World is back. Let's go, Just Webb's World. Good to see you. $5 super chat. Says we can't be cheap with free agents and not move up to get quality players and expect us to win. Remember, Rooney signs the checks. How much do we really want to win? Completely agree, Just Webb's World. Right now, I'm going to say this right now, guys. We got the live Q&A coming up at the end of the show. We already have some great Super Chat questions, so I think you're probably going to have to Super Chat if you want your question to get on the show this afternoon. Correct. Mike G coming in with a 5 as well.
We'll get to all these after we do our first segment here.
Sounds good. So we're going to do our first segment here. We're not going to make you guys wait any longer for some Steelers content. If Just Webb's World and Mike G will get to your Super Chats at the end of this segment. So without further ado, let's get into it right now. Our first segment, the latest news and rumors surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers. Welcome into Steelers Talk. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and today, Steelers owner, or at least majority owner, Art Rooney II, held a press conference, a secret press conference with no cameras in attendance, with people like ESPN reporter Brooke Pryor, Pat McAfee show correspondent Mark Caboli, and others, and he kind of gave his thoughts on the Pittsburgh Steelers, why he's keeping Mike Tomlin on as head coach, talking about the quarterback situation, what he expects the team to do, and why he wants the Steelers to bring back TJ Watt on a massive contract extension to keep him here in Pittsburgh for the long haul. Before we get into the content today, if you are ready for a fun offseason right here on Steelers Talk, we're going to have quarterback stuff. We're going to have wide receiver discussions, hopefully some big changes on this roster as well, getting ready for that 2025 campaign. Make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already to help out today's show. Now, let's talk about what Art Rooney had to say about Mike Tomlin and what he said about the head coach that he's bringing back for yet another season despite a 5-game losing skid to finish the 2024 season. This is what Art had to say about why he's bringing back Coach T. You don't win that many games if you're not a good coach. I know he's frustrated, like we all are, in terms of not being able to take that next step, but we still feel good about him being our leader. We still feel good about him being a good leader. When you got a good coach, you try to keep him in place. When I talk to the players, they still want to play for Mike. And what it sounds like to me, guys, is that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to pretty much keep it status quo here when it comes to the coaching staff. They still have the same kind of organizational vision that they've been trying to build this team as over the last decade, which has gotten them nowhere. And that's a little bit disappointing. They're not moving off of, their offensive philosophy. They're still going to try to run the football. And honestly, this is still a very old school approach to building a football team. They still think that they're the Steelers of the 1970s where you can win with a run game and win with defense. But unfortunately, I don't think that they've caught up with modern times and understand that having an elite passing attack is really how you win championships in the modern day NFL. And listen, man, we all know that Mike Tomlin is a great leader. There's a reason why this guy has never had a losing season. The reason why that is because his culture is so consistently good and they can adapt to certain adversity at the highest level because this is a winning culture here in Pittsburgh. But it's not the culture that's the problem. It is the team-building philosophy that Mike Tomlin brings as an older school coach. He pays defensive players a ton of money. He tries to prioritize a run game, even though he can't really build an offensive line. And those kind of tenets of how this team tries to build itself is the reason why this team has been held back for so long, with Mike Tomlin still in place and still really running the show in this organization. Unfortunately, I don't really see things changing unless they can build an elite run game in the years to come. My expectation here is that the Steelers are going to keep Mike Tomlin as their head coach for at least the next 2 seasons. Barring a complete disaster next season, maybe they'll fire Tomlin. But I think what the team is trying to do, guys, is I think they're trying to make a run for a championship over the next 2 years so that they can get Cam Hayward a trophy and a ring before he retires. That's the hope for the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into 2025 and 2026. This is what they've been trying to do for a while now, is to try to get Captain Cam that Super Bowl championship that I think we all agree he deserves. And honestly, rebuilding right now when Cam Hayward has 2 years left of his entire NFL career, I mean, I just don't think that is something the Steelers want to do. And I understand why they don't want to do that. They want to try to get Cam Hayward a ring. They want to be able to deliver that for one of the greatest players in this franchise's history. I think you can have serious concerns like I do that they're actually going to be able to do that with Mike Tomlin as their head coach. But that's the way that they're going to do it. And honestly, at this point, with just 2 years left in Cam's career, I think you got to stay the course at least until this era of Steelers football is over. So fill in the blank for me down there in the comments section. Mike Tomlin is a top blank head coach in the NFL. Where does Coach T rank among NFL head coaches today? Is he top 10? Is he top 15? Is he top 20? Is he not even in the top 25? Do you think he just absolutely sucks? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. And as always, let me know your reasoning down there in the comments for today's pinned comment. But before we get into the rest of today's edition of Steelers Talk by Chat Sports, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Game Time, which is the best place to buy tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that make getting tickets for live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. All you have to do is select the Game Time Picks button at the top of the screen whenever you go into an event you want to go see on the Game Time app, and Game Time's automatically going to filter through their entire database of tickets for that event to find you the best tickets at the best prices with the best views, so you and your family can always get the best deals on any ticket you purchase to any event. And it's more than just sports, guys. It's comedy, it's theater, it's music, all this different stuff. If you can go to a live event, Game Time's got tickets on their app. And what I love about using the Game Time app is you get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event, all in pricing, so you don't get slapped with a crazy fee at checkout, and flash deals so you can get even cheaper tickets the closer you wait to game time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. It's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS. It's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. So what did the Steelers owner have to say about the quarterback situation heading into this offseason? Obviously, it's a little bit hairy with both of the quarterbacks, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields from 2024, hitting the open market. But this is what Rooney had to say in his press conference today. After the coaching staff is in place, the priority will be the quarterback position. We have some decisions to make there, and I thought both Russ and Justin showed promise in certain stretches, and I think they're both capable of being starters. I think both Russell Wilson and Justin Fields are capable quarterbacks, and my preference would be to sign one of them. So that'll be the priority, and I think that they will give us the best opportunity to move forward. I wouldn't close the door on bringing back both Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, but I'd say it's probably unlikely. I think both of them see themselves as starters, and I don't know they want to share the same job again next year. Obviously, we'll be looking in the draft as well. We've got a whole quarterback room to fill, and so there's jobs open in there. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we look in the draft as well, either this year or next. So what it sounds like to me here, guys, is that either Russell Wilson or Justin Fields is going to be the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2025. Now, maybe if Matthew Stafford's made available, maybe that ends up changing the calculus. Maybe if Geno Smith becomes available, maybe that changes the calculus. But based on what we expect the quarterback market to look like right now, I would say it's most likely either going to be Russell Wilson or Justin Fields at QB1. Then in QB2, they're either going to get a solidified veteran backup, or they're going to draft somebody that they believe in to be the number 2 quarterback and maybe QB1 of the future. Then at quarterback 3, they're either going to draft a kind of a day 3 kind of dart throw, or they're going to keep Skylar Thompson on as their number 3 quarterback. My prediction, guys, and you guys know this, I've been saying it for weeks, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to rock with Justin Fields next year. And, I think that the upside play is certainly there. If he turns into a top 10 quarterback in the National Football League, the Steelers might actually have something in 2025. But it is a risk. He is certainly somebody that's had 4 years to establish himself as a top 10 talent in this league, and he hasn't done so based on the numbers and based on the film, in my opinion. So he still has steps to take in order to reach his massive potential. But I think that the Steelers believe in that potential and think that they can get that out of him heading into his second year in Arthur Smith's system. The projected contract on my end is I think that they will give Fields somewhere around a 2-year, $13.5 million per season contract. They're going to guarantee most of it, I think. And I think Justin will happily take that if it means he can be a starting quarterback again in the National Football League, especially for this season, for this team, playing for Mike Tomlin and playing in Arthur Smith's system. He really likes this offense. He likes all these different things. I think Justin Fields will be back in 2025. And then Jerry Dulac, though, he did say, keep in mind here, that he is quote-unquote hearing that Russell Wilson may be brought back as QB1 in 2025. Now, Jerry's wrong all the time, all right? I don't know who's telling him these things. He said Deontay Johnson had a 100% chance on being on the team that last year. He said they're going to stick with Kenny Pickett. Of course, we know that ended up not happening. So, take what Jerry says with a grain of salt here. I still think they're going to go with Justin Fields. And then, if they get Justin, my preference would be for them to get a very good and high-end backup option. Somebody like Jacoby Brissett, who has the lowest interception percentage in the history of the National Football League. Somebody like Tyrod Taylor, who also protects the football, but just 2 seasons ago led the league in big-time throw percentage and still has some athletic upside. Andy Dalton. Now, if it's Justin Fields, maybe Dalton won't work. Apparently, Dalton and Fields don't like each other based on their prior meeting in Chicago. But then Joe Flacco is also an option that's out there. Bigger arm quarterback. Somebody that can play in the AFC North still. I proved that last year with the Cleveland Browns. So certainly some options to keep in mind if you're the Steelers. And then if you want to go, mid-round to late-round quarterback, there's certainly some options that you could consider as well. Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss is a popular name that's coming up. Jalen Milroe, the same. Will Howard out of Ohio State just won a national championship. Looked pretty darn solid in that national championship game against a good defense against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Coop's Quinn Ewers. You would love Quinn to be here, producer Coop. Kyle McCord had a really good season for Syracuse. And then Max Brosmer has been lighting up the Shrine Bowl this week. He's got a really big arm. So keep your eye on Max Brosmer as somebody the Steelers could take on day 3 of the draft. So let me know down there in the comment section, what does your ideal Steelers quarterback room look like for 2025? Let me know down there in the comment section. Is it Justin Fields and Jalen Milroe? Is it Justin Fields and Jacoby Brissett? Is it Russell Wilson and somebody else that we draft? Let me know down there in the comment section. What do you want this quarterback room to look like next season? Final topic we're discussing on today's edition of Steelers News and Rumors is Art Rooney's a comment saying that he wants to bring back T.J. Watt on a massive new contract. This is what Art had to say on the superstar edge rusher. That's something we want to look at this offseason, talking about an extension. TJ has been one of the foundations of the defense for quite a number of years now, and certainly hope we can have TJ for the future beyond this year. So for me, guys, I think in order to lock up TJ Watt for the foreseeable future, you're going to have to make him the highest paid edge rusher in all of football. All right, he's a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He's still really arguably at the top of his game. And if you want to keep him here long term, I think it's going to take at least a 3-year extension worth upwards of $34.3 million per year. That would make him the highest earning edge rusher in all of football. So I think that's something the Steelers should look to get done pretty soon because there's multiple edge rushers due for new contracts this offseason. So you be the GM for me down there in the comment section. More or less than $34 million per year on Watt's next deal. Type M for more or L for less. I'm just going to tell you guys right now, if you type L for less, you're not getting them for unless it's top money. I'm just going to tell you that right now. All right, I appreciate all of your guys' support. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. We got more Steelers offseason coverage coming your way all throughout the 2025 offseason. So to never miss a big story, never miss a big rumor, never miss breaking news action here on Steelers Talk, click that subscribe button right now. All right, we got a lot of super chats to get to here, Mr. Coop. First one coming in from Just Webb's World says, we can't be cheap with free agents and not move up to get quality players and expect us to win. Remember, Rooney signs the checks. How much do we really want to win? And, it's not just players. It's VR technology, in my opinion, Coop. Like, how much are you willing to spend to win? All right, and I think that's a more than fair question to ask as a fan of this football team. But Rooney tends to be a little bit cheap when it comes to these sorts of things. Mike G coming in with a 5. My man Mike says, should the Steelers tag Najee? No, I think that the tag is too much money, and Najee's not a good enough player that's worth the tag. I think Najee's a decent player. I honestly think that he's more of a committee type running back, maybe an RB2 than a true RB1. Just doesn't make enough big plays. He falls forward. He runs hard. There's a lot of things I appreciate about Najee Harris. Blocks his ass off as a pass protector. all these different things. And he's a great teammate, great locker room guy. But the Steelers need a Saquon Barkley. They need a Derrick Henry. They need somebody because, plain simply, guys, they want to have a top 3, top 5 running game. They want to be the Eagles. They want to be the Ravens. They want to play the way that those teams play. Dominant run game with a pass game that complements the run game.
The Steelers should just trade every single draft pick they have for Saquon Barkley.
And they would still say no. And they would still say no because Saquon is that good. So the Steelers have to find their Saquon. They have to find their Derrick Henry. They have to find their guy, their Ezekiel Elliott, right? Back in the Cowboys days, back in the early days of his career. You know, you got to find that guy, whether it's in the draft or in free agency, that you really believe in and think can be a superstar level running back. And unfortunately, I don't think Najee is that. Then we got on from a 5 from Chris says, I'm fed up with the mediocrity. Broderick Jones looks like a bust. We are in dire need for a run-stopping nose tackle, and the O-line needs Mike Munchak. I agree. I don't disagree with any of that, Chris. I think that Munchak...
You've been saying Munchak should replace, what's his name?
Pat Meyer. I would take anybody over Pat Meyer. That brother has developed or not developed multiple busts.
I'm worried about Troy Fautanu if they keep him.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
I mean, Pat Meyer is an absolute fucking joke of an offensive line coach. I don't know what Mike Tomlin sees in him. I don't. Like, how many failed early draft picks have to come through this joint before he fires him?
What a joke.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
By the way, if you want to be on the mailbag, you're going to have to super chat at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we got enough super chats right now where if you want to be on the mailbag, you got to super chat. My man Vibin says, what up, Jack and Coop, my dogs? Who we keeping, Russ or Justin? Tea leaves, at least to me, seem to be pointing to Justin, which gross, but okay. I think they're going with Justin.
I think they're going with Russ.
Coop keeps telling me that he thinks they're sticking with Russ. Maybe they do. If I'm going to say this right now. You guys know that, I appreciate Russ for what he is. I don't think he's a star quarterback, but I think he's a decent starter. All right? If they get Russell Wilson, they better not pay him more than $20 million a year.
Yeah, I don't think they would.
Like, it has to be like 15, 20 million, like nothing, like all these numbers that ESPN has been throwing out, $30, $35 million per year. Russell Wilson is not worth that. All right, he's just not. So, Vibin says that's not true. I don't know what he's talking about. Dalton and Fields were very close. Actually, there's been multiple reports saying that they butted heads extremely in their time in Chicago. Vibin is saying
it's a media conspiracy.
I don't know. He said he had no beef with either guy. It was just Bears media trying to tarnish his image. I mean, it was pretty well reported that they were butting heads.
It was.
Like, at the time and then afterwards. So, Vibin, I think I'd have to disagree with you on that. But I guess we can agree to disagree. I mean, hey, if Dalton signs here, he obviously has no problem with Fields. And if he's fine with Fields, I'm fine with Dalton coming here. Sheldon Bennett, first-time Super Chat. Let's give Sheldon some Rick Flair drip. Woo! Andrew Szymanski, $2, says, will they wipe out another position group again? What does he mean by wipe out?
Just like completely redo it.
Wide receiver.
Could be, yeah. They could trade GP. I mean, you're going to keep Roman Wilson. You're probably going to keep Calvin Austin.
That's it.
That's it.
And like George, they might keep him, but they also might not. Like, here's the thing. I think here's the deal. I think if they get a wide receiver they really like via trade or via free agency in that early part of the offseason, they'll look to trade him for a draft pick.
Yeah, I agree.
If they can't land a true number one receiver, I think they try to keep him around. That's kind of what I think is going to happen. But at some point, George is going to want a big contract extension.
Yeah.
And he's going to want to get paid close to $30 million a year.
I ain't giving him that.
And I'm not giving him that.
No way.
I don't think the Steelers are giving him that.
No way.
And I think that George might demand that. So
possibly.
I don't know, man. I think wide receiver is going to be a position that completely gets wiped out, and they kind of start new this offseason. Calvin will still be here. Roman will still be here. They'll be slot guys.
That's probably it.
But I think they're drafting a rookie early in the draft this year. We'll talk about that in our next segment here coming up. I think they're going to draft a rookie early to start immediately, and I think that they sign a big-time veteran to play right away as well.
Agreed.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking. All right, let me take a little drink of water.
Coat your throat.
A little coat to throat action here.
Yep.
Do we have to spin the wheel?
No spins.
No spins?
Nope.
All right, so we do have to get to a boot eventually
we'll do that
at the end of the show. But make sure you guys get those super chats in if you want to get on the mailbag. It's coming up here in about 30 minutes. But until then, let's get into our next segment here, the latest draft rumors surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers. We got some great stuff coming your way, so don't go anywhere. Today on Steelers Talk, we're talking NFL draft rumors for the black and gold. Daniel Jeremiah came out with his brand new mock draft, his first of the draft season. He's got the Steelers taking a big-time wide receiver I'm excited to talk about today. Also, we got another mock draft to talk about. And then someone from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette says the Steelers should take a defensive tackle in round one. We'll talk about all those ideas and more on today's edition of Steelers Talk. But this is where you guys are going to find the best damn Steelers draft content anywhere on YouTube. All right, we got in-depth prospect analysis. I'm going to be sharing my scouting reports on all the top players the Steelers are targeting. Also, team need positional rankings. So we'll be talking about quarterback rankings. We're going to be talking about wide receiver rankings, running back rankings, all these big positions of need that the Steelers are going to have to address this spring in Green Bay. We'll be getting into those positional ranking videos throughout the spring. And then we also have weekly 7-round Steelers mock drafts on this channel starting this week. We're going to be releasing our first one this weekend. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. I really do appreciate all of your guys' support. So first up here, let's go over some recent mock drafts. And the first one we're going to talk about today is NFL draft analyst for NFL Network, Daniel Jeremiah. Now, DJ is one of the most respected people in the entire draft media space, and I really do respect his opinion. And he, just like I, am really, really high on Texas wide receiver Matthew Golden. And that's who Daniel has the Steelers taken at number 21 overall over Emeka Egbuka, by the way, from Ohio State. And I actually have Golden ranked above Egbuka on my wide receiver rankings this year. I love his tape. We'll talk about my thoughts on him here in just a second. This is what Jeremiah had to say about mocking Golden to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think the Steelers could go wrong drafting Golden or Ohio State's Emeka Egbuka here. They go with Golden in this case, but they are both professional route runners with outstanding hands and toughness. Now listen, man, I would be thrilled to get Matthew Golden at number 21 overall, man. Like, I don't think he's going to make it here. I think that once people get their hands on his film, they're going to see how disgusting of a route runner this guy is and how good he is separating down the field. And I honestly think he's probably going to be a top 15 pick when it's all said and done. This guy is a dynamic playmaker, both, as somebody that can stretch the field vertically with that great long speed that he has, but he also has great yak ability. My scouting report on him, you guys can see him right here. I got a true round one grade on him, and he's really a special playmaker. He can run routes to all levels of the field. He takes the top off the defense. He's going to run extremely well at the combine with the long speed. The ball skills are off the charts, too. He makes some really, really crazy catches in traffic as well. Catches it with his hands, doesn't rely on catching it with his body or anything like that. Route running is off the charts as well. Now, the cons, he's not the best run blocker because he's not the biggest guy in the world. He needs to fill out the frame a little bit. But if you got a guy this dynamic out in open space, I know that Arthur Smith really, really likes the run blocking element at the wide receiver position, so maybe he likes Emeka Egbuka a little bit better. But personally, guys, I think that Matthew Golden is an even more explosive playmaker. But like I said, guys, I think that Egbuka might be the better fit. I think that Arthur Smith might look at these two guys' film and say Egbuka is the better run blocker. He's more filled out, all these different things, and they're probably going to go with him. But when I look at Matthew Golden's film, man, this guy is a different kind of cat out there. Egbuka doesn't have the ability to really stretch a defense vertically down the field as a deep threat. And, in the times that he wins down the field, it's in 50-50 ball situations. Matthew Golden can run away from people on deep post, all these different things that he ran there at Texas. And, he's just got a different gear to him than what Emeka Egbuka brings to the table, which is why I have Golden ranked currently as my number 3 wide receiver prospect. Something that might catch your eye on my wide receiver rankings right now is I have Travis Hunter number 4. I think he's a much better corner than he is a wide receiver. I still think he's got the vertical ability, which makes me like him a little bit more than Egbuka. I would be fine with Emeka here at number 21. I think he's a really good player and a great fit. But if you can get Luther Burden III or Matthew Golden here at number 21, that would be an absolutely game-changing, slam dunk home run to me, guys. So I would rather go with Golden over Egbuka. But let me know your thoughts down there in the comments section. Pick a wide receiver to pick in round 1. Type MG for Matthew Golden or EE for Emeka Egbuka. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So in just a second here, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor today at Prize Picks. While I'm talking about Prize Picks, go down there in the comments section and let me know which receiver you would rather take. And with that, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Prize Picks, which is the best place to get real money sports action this football season. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more than or less than on at least 2 player stat projections for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you just play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that could lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday, where every Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. Right now, we've got a special Super Bowl pick here, so you guys can take the passing yards on Patrick Mahomes. It's pretty much a free pick right there. And you can pair that with 1 or 2 or 3 other projections for the Super Bowl to help you out with their projection. So that's a phenomenal deal right there, guys. The big day in New Orleans is coming up in about 2 weeks, so I'd highly recommend you guys take advantage of that. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup when you download the Prize Picks app today. Prize Picks, run your game. So there's another person out there that does a lot of great draft content. His name's Marcus Whitman. You guys might know him as That Franchise Guy on Twitter and on YouTube. He does some really, really great stuff. But he has the Steelers taking Benjamin Morrison, cornerback out of Notre Dame, in his latest mock draft. You guys can check out Marcus's channel. It's called That Franchise Guy here on YouTube. I highly recommend you check out his stuff. He does phenomenal work over there. But this is what he had to say about him taking Marcus Whitman to the Steelers at number 21 overall. Or not Marcus Whitman, Benjamin Morrison, my fault. Corner is a need for them. Dante Jackson is a pending free agent. Joey Porter Jr. had a down year. Cam Sutton is a free agent with off-field drama. I'm leaning towards getting a guy like Benjamin Morrison, who's a very complete corner out of Notre Dame for the Steelers at 21. And listen, man, Benjamin Morrison, I'm a Notre Dame fan. I'm a big fan of this guy. Now, he's a little bit undersized, but he's a really good player that's ready to go right out of the box. He was a team captain there at Notre Dame. He is coming off an injury, didn't play much this year, but despite that, Notre Dame's defense really didn't miss a beat. But his man coverage ability is legit. The short area quickness is incredible, which allows him to really be sticky in man coverage. The Steelers play more man coverage than just about anybody in football, especially against the Ravens and the Bengals. When they play those two teams, the ball skills are off the charts. This guy's going to be able to get interceptions for you. The hit fluidity is great, so he's going to be able to stay with these vertical deep threats, and his football IQ is really, really good as well. Now, he doesn't have the ideal size or length that you look for. Usually the Steelers look for guys like Joey Porter Jr. that have that prototypical frame. But Dante Jackson certainly didn't have that prototypical frame, and the Steelers usually are okay with their number 2 corner not having those ideal size or length parameters. And the functional strength could get better. It's fine, but it's definitely not a pro to his game. I have a true round 1 grade on him. He's ready to go right out of the box. I think he's ready to be a number 2 corner in the league right away, with the ability to potentially be a number 1 guy down the road. But I think that the Steelers probably address corner in free agency. I think right now Joey Porter Jr. is still developing somewhat. He's still a relatively young corner. I think the Steelers want to get a veteran presence in there at CB2 to help his development along, instead of spending another high draft pick on a corner to opposite JPJ. Here's all the top free agency options for the Steelers at cornerback. And there's all these guys I would be fine with as the number 2 corner. Now, Mike Hilton's a slot guy. I would still love to add him. But, all the rest of these guys are outside guys, or at least have the capability to play on the outside. And all of them I'd be okay with bringing in for the right price. Of course, some guys to keep your eye on. DJ Reed for the right price I think would be an excellent fit. Carlton Davis out of Detroit is another guy that I really like to fit with. Jonathan Jones is a fun match right there for the Steelers defense. And even Stephon Gilmore, who's getting a bit older but had a really good season for the Vikings this past year, are the guys I would be keeping my eye on this spring. So make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already for more Steelers draft videos all throughout the spring. Really do appreciate all of your guys' support, and liking today's video really does help out the channel, so thank you guys so much for that support. Okay, now let's get into the final topic on today's show, which is that the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Ray Filipaldo says that Pittsburgh should consider taking a defensive tackle in round 1 in the 2025 NFL Draft. Now, I've seen this idea be thrown out there by multiple people. I think Nick Farabaugh is another guy from Penn Live that has suggested the Steelers should go out and get a defensive tackle in round 1. And, I don't necessarily disagree with the idea that the Steelers need another piece on the defensive line. And, Pittsburgh, and then Filipaldo's guy that he really wants the Steelers to target is Shamar Stewart, the defensive tackle, kind of hybrid defensive lineman out of Texas A&M. This is what he had to say about why Stewart tickles his fancy. I just think the body type is exactly what the Steelers are looking for in a 5 technique. And we all know Cam Hayward is going to turn 36 here in a couple of months. He's been playing great, but eventually you're going to need his replacement. And Stewart, body type-wise, certainly would fit that bill. So listen, man, I think that Shamar Stewart is a good fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he is right that he is kind of the prototypical size and, skill set profile the Steelers look for in their 5 technique, which is the position Larry Ogunjobi currently fills in this defense. You can take a look at my scouting report for Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M. I love his arm length. I love the get off, super explosive athlete. He has a really hot motor, which I like. The power rushing is really his MO. He loves to really push people back, and that's kind of his one trick that he likes to do. And then the block shedding as a run defender on the edge is really, really good as well. But the cons, he needs to work on his hand fighting. His hand usage, even though he's got long arms, isn't very good, if I'm being completely honest with you. The anchor and run defense, he just doesn't really have the frame to be a true anchor in the middle of your defense. If you put a double team on him, you can move him off the spot quite easily. I do have a late round 1 grade on him, but I think he's probably more of a day 2 kind of guy, like early day 2. He's got some high potential if he can develop some pass rushing moves outside of the speed to power stuff, outside of the bull rush. I think that he could be quite good. He certainly has the physical profile to do it. But my issue with taking a guy like Shamar Stewart and number 21 overall is that the Steelers need offense help, all right? This defense obviously had their issues in the second half of the season down the stretch, but, defensive line talent is definitely not one of the issues that this team needs to address. Now, maybe they need to address it in some smaller ways, but it's not like you need an immediate day 1 starter that you got to spend a first-round draft pick on. I would much rather use this first-round draft pick on a guy like a wide receiver, like we talked about earlier, or a running back if you can get a special player like Ashton Janty. I think you want to get a difference maker on offense because that's the side of the ball you really want to make a big impact on. Plus, I'd like Keanu Benton to be this team's 5 technique moving forward and eventually move in to be Cam Hayward's replacement at the 3 technique spot. I think that Benton is a much better player when he's allowed to be a penetrating type of player in the interior as opposed to somebody in the nose who's taking on double teams, who's being asked to be more of a run stuffer. I think that is a big misuse of Keanu Benton's ability and athletic gifts, and I think that he could be a big-time impact player for this defense if the Steelers use him in the proper way. So I would actually rather take a big body nose tackle, whether that's signing somebody in free agency or whether that's using a day 2 or day 3 draft pick to get a big body in the middle of this defense so you can allow Cam Hayward and Keanu Benton to be the penetrator types and do what they do, getting after the quarterbacks and absolutely blowing up run plays up the middle. So which position would you take in round 1 if you were the Pittsburgh Steelers? Type WR for wide receiver, type CB for cornerback, type DL for defensive line, or type O for other. These are the positions we talked about today. I could certainly see some people say running back down there in the comment section, especially if it's for a guy like Ashton Janty. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. Out of these options, I'm probably going with wide receiver. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me to the end of today's show. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already for more Steelers draft coverage all throughout the 2025 offseason. All right, we got some more super chats to get to here, Coop. $2 from Awareness and Accountability. Appreciate you, A&A. $2. Thank you so much. Is that first time super chatter?
I don't think so.
I can't say I
not a first time.
Can't say I recognize the name, but thank you, A&A. Just Webb's World, $2 says, what's the price you would pay T. Higgins?
Whatever he wants.
$36 million?
Yeah.
I'm not paying him $36 million. I would pay him, if I were the Steelers, I would offer him $32 million.
I'd give him whatever his asking price is, to be honest.
I don't know, man, because you got other things you got to address. I think you got to make a splash at corner.
True.
You gotta fill out some of these other needs that you have. I would love to bring back Mike Hilton, who's not going to be necessarily cheap either. So Gary Frank coming in with a 10 says, Coop, bet ya Fields, get Flacco, keep Harris and GP, get Igbuka, then run in free agency. Run in free agency.
I'm scared to bet you, Gary, because our bets are always dangerous.
Yes, absolutely. I don't think keeping Najee's a great idea. I know people like him, and I see why, but I just think that you got to get a difference maker in there. And Najee's not a difference maker. All right. I'm Jack Sperry. Here's my 20 jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Mike G coming in with another 5, says, I like Emeka, but man, have y'all seen that kid, Alec Ayamainer? I have.
I like him.
He's physical, but you know what my comp is for him? Mike Williams.
We'll see ya.
He's, if you don't like Mike Williams, Alec Ayamainer is probably not going to be for you. I think he's more of like a true X receiver that's going to be like a number 2 guy. He makes some great catches on the sideline, man. He really does, but he's a limited route runner. And I love his physicality. I love his ability to win 50-50 balls. I think if you bring back Russell Wilson, Alec Ayamainer is the type of guy that I would be looking at to bring in. Because he would be like a jump ball maniac with Russ's moon ball.
Yeah, true.
It'd be a lot of fun.
I think Russ is coming back, so maybe he is a fit after all.
So I think if you go with Fields or any other quarterback, I think there's other quarterbacks or wide receivers I'd rather get Mike. But if you bring back Russ and you're going with kind of the jump ball offense again, like they tried to run last year, I would say Ayamainer is going to be a great fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, so we got plenty of questions. I still owe a boot, and I still owe 20 push-ups.
Yep.
I'm going to knock out half of those push-ups right now because I don't think I can go 20 straight again. So let's get these push-ups going.
I think you can go 20 straight.
But I'm going to go 10 right now.
Okay.
I'm going to go 10 right now, then we'll get into the mailbag, and then we'll drink the boot, and we'll get out of here. All right, so let's get this going right now. Push-up time, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Coop's going to put the camera on me so you guys can see.
There he is. He's doing them for real. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh.
Arms getting tired there?
Not really. Just maybe, honestly, the pecs a little bit are the things that are getting a little bit, it's getting a little bit tired. All right. Final segment of the day. After we get through this segment, we can, go a little Palooza style here if you guys want.
Until 7, because Coop has to go live on Mavs.
Until 7, Coop does have to go live on Mavs tonight. But let's get into our next segment here, guys, which, of course, you know it. It's back. The Steelers Talk Mailbag is coming at you guys right now.
Let go.
Welcome into the Steelers Talk Mailbag. I am your host, Jack Sperry. Today, I'm answering your questions on the black and gold surrounding free agency, trade rumors, draft stuff, all that great stuff. Whatever you guys have questions about, I'm here to answer them for you guys. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already to get your question on a future edition of Steelers Talk. You guys can put hashtag Steelers down there in the comment section of today's video for a chance for that question to be on the next Steelers Talk Mailbag next week. Okay, let's get into our first one here. $20 super chat from DJ KJ. Says, why are we bringing back Mike Tomlin after how the past 10 or so years of the same thing without a Super Bowl? And also, what is the standard anymore, especially since this is the result? Sorry for the long message, LOL. So they're bringing back Mike Tomlin. Essentially, the reasoning goes they believe in him as a leader and as a coach. They like the fact that he provides a very stable, winning culture, but and the reason why they're going to keep him around is because they know Cam Hayward only has 2 years left of his career, and they think that Mike Tomlin is the guy that can deliver a championship for him before he hangs up the cleats. Now, I think with the way Mike constructs the roster, with the defense-first mentality, he tries to build a really good run game, but he can't find a way to build an offensive line. Pat Meyer, his O-line coach, for some reason, he refuses to move off of him. And, the fact that they keep falling short in the run game department year in and year out really does limit this football team. They don't invest enough on offense. And, the defense is good, but as we saw this past year, the defense runs out of gas at end of seasons because they're always on the field, right? So I think that, Mike Tomlin is here because he's a stable force, and Art Rooney and Omar Khan and Mike believe that they are the right guys to deliver a championship for Cam. But I think there's certainly reasons to believe that he won't be able to deliver that in the years to come. $20 for Anthony Fuller here, says bring Justin Fields back, but give him the VR. I'm all in on Justin Fields if the Steelers invest in this technology. The question is, are they going to do that? All right, this is the Pittsburgh Steelers we're talking about, a team that is still living in the 1970s in terms of how they build their football team. Are they really going to invest in this thing at this stage in the game? I sure hope they do. I think it could be a game changer for Justin Fields. But if they don't, I think we're going to see a lot of what we saw from Justin Fields last year and in the years prior. Lots of mental processing mistakes, lots of vision issues, accuracy issues. In structure playmaking is an issue for Justin Fields. I think that with VR, he could potentially even become a superstar quarterback, top 10 level guy, and get the Steelers back in Super Bowl contention. But if they don't invest in this technology, unfortunately, I think the chances of him becoming a star are relatively pretty low. So who's the better player right now? Russell Wilson or Justin Fields? Type RW for Russell Wilson or JF for Justin Fields. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time by letting me know which of these quarterbacks is the better player. Going from Mike G, says, should the Steelers tag Najee? No, Mike, I don't think so. Najee just isn't a dynamic enough player to be worth it on the tag, in my opinion. And, I think, Jaylen Warren has outplayed him in terms of the dynamic playmaking aspect of things. And I don't think Jaylen Warren is necessarily a true number one running back. So I think what the Steelers need to do, they got to let Najee go. All right, they got to, I know they invested a first-round pick in him. I understand that he's a good, power back at this point. He can fight for extra yards. I appreciate what he does well, but what he doesn't do well is make explosive plays. And the Steelers need somebody that can do that consistently. So I think they got to find a new RB1 in the draft is what I would do. As much as I appreciate Najee, I think it's time to let him go. $5 here from Chris says, I am fed up with the mediocrity. Broderick Jones looks like a bust. We are in dire need for a run-stopping nose tackle, and the O-line needs Mike Munchak. I would love for Munchak to come back. Is he willing to come back? I don't know. I agree. We need a new nose tackle so that we can move Keanu Benton to 5 technique. That's my preference. And then Broderick Jones, hopefully, moving him over to the left side is going to be the magical fix that I've been told it's going to be. I have my doubts about that. He's got footwork issues, and he's had the same issues on the left side as well that we've seen from him on the right side. So he's going to have to take a big step forward. This organization and Mike Tomlin believes in him. I guess we'll see if that pays off. So coming up here on the Steelers Talk Mailbag, more questions that you guys have for me. Free agency, draft, trade rumors, all that great stuff. It's coming your way here in just a second. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Game Time, which is the best place for you to buy tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. Game Time has a new feature on their app called Game Time Picks, which filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. All you have to do is select the Game Time Picks button at the top of the screen when you click into an event you want to go see. If you guys want to go see the Penguins play, they're currently playing right now. They're just in the middle of the NHL season. You guys can do that on the Game Time app today using Game Time Picks. What I love about the Game Time app and why it's the only ticketing app I have on my phone right now is you get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event, all in pricing so you don't get slapped with a crazy fee at checkout, and flash deals so you can get even cheaper tickets the closer you wait to game time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. It's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. $5 coming in from Vibin' with the Dogs. Says, what up, Jack and Coop, my dogs? Who we keeping, Russ or Justin? Tea leaves, at least to me, seem to be pointing to Justin, which gross, but okay. I think that it's going to be Justin Fields. And, the reason for that is because Mike Tomlin is still here. Omar Khan is still here. Arthur Smith is still here. Somebody's head's got to roll after a 5-game losing streak to finish the season. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be the starting quarterback's head here in Russell Wilson. Russ is not a good fit for Arthur Smith's offense. I think Art is sick and tired of sacrificing his offensive vision to cater to Russ's strengths and weaknesses. I think that he thinks Justin Fields is the more capable quarterback of operating his offense in the way it's designed to be run. So I think that, I said it earlier in the show, I have my concerns about Justin Fields. But this team clearly believes in him. They're seeing something in him in the locker room that they clearly believe in. Obviously, he's got an extremely high amount of upside. And hey, in the AFC with Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen, you got to have a dude to win a Super Bowl and to win this conference. Justin Fields has the highest upside of any quarterback they can get on this team for 2025. So maybe a risk is just what the Pittsburgh Steelers need this season. $2 from Andrew says, will they wipe out another position group again? Obviously, they're wiping out the quarterback position this year because everybody's a free agent. Kyle Allen, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields are all free agents. So obviously, you're going to have a brand new quarterback room. I honestly think the wide receiver room is going to look a lot different next year as well. I think that George Pickens more than likely gets traded. We'll see how that whole saga unfolds this offseason. And I think the only guys that were contributors this past year, or at least were on the team this past year, that I think will also be contributors next year, Calvin Austin III and then Roman Wilson, I think will still be a part of the future plans. But I think number 1 and number 2 receivers, respectively, those positions are going to be filled in free agency and in the draft. $2 from Just Webb's World says, what's the price that you would pay for T. Higgins? I would pay him somewhere between $32, $33 million per year. Mike Tomlin loves him. He's what he calls a goon, which means a bigger receiver that can just absolutely bully you on the perimeter. Tomlin likes those kind of guys. So they draw defensive pass interference penalties. They draw holding penalties because you got to play physical against those guys to win. So I really like T. Higgins' skill set. He's going to make a lot of money. He might get like 35, might get like Justin Jefferson level money just because teams are going to be so desperate to get him. But honestly, I'm not sure if I'm willing to give him that kind of money. Let me know down there in the comments section, how much money should Pittsburgh offer for T. Higgins? How much would you be willing to go for T. Higgins' services? I think in order to get him, you're going to have to pay at least $34 million to go get him. I know that's a lot of money. I had people last year saying $30 million per year was too much for Brandon Ayuk, who was an all-pro receiver. So I don't know how people feel about T. Higgins for $34 million per year, but let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Make sure you like the video if you haven't already. It really does help out our show. And it tells the YouTube algorithm that you're enjoying our content and that they should recommend our show to other Steelers fans like yourself. So if you want to do your part to help grow our family here at Steelers Talk, click that subscribe button and click that thumbs up icon so others can click that subscribe button. $5 from Dylan Lewandowski. What's up, Dylan? Says, where does Russ go next if and when we get rid of him? The Raiders are certainly a team that's being connected to Russ right now. Apparently, he's mended fences with Pete Carroll, who dumped him back in 2022 before the 2022 season with Denver. And I think the New York Giants are another team that makes sense, throwing the ball down the field. He's kind of like the anti-Daniel Jones, where Daniel Jones would just consistently dump shit off. Check down, check down, check down. Russell Wilson wants to go bomb, bomb, bomb. So, hey, I think that could potentially work as well, but it's going to be interesting. I honestly think he's more likely to be a Raider or a Giant than a Steeler at this point. $5 from Mike G says, I like Emeka Egbuka, but man, have y'all seen that kid, Alec Ayamaner, out of Stanford? And, my comp for Alec is Mike Williams. So if you don't like Mike Williams, you're not going to like Alec Ayamaner. He's going to be kind of like a true number 2 receiver on the outside as an X guy. I don't know if he's going to be a true alpha type because I don't think he's a great route runner. He's not a great separator in space. I currently have a day 2 grade on Ayamaner. He's going to be a good player. Don't get me wrong. He's physical as hell, wins at the catch point. But here are my top 6 wide receiver prospects. These are the guys I have round 1 grades on right now. Tedoror McMillan is a special player. I have him in the Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson category. Like he is so freaking good, guys. So good. Luther Burden, the third out of Missouri, is a guy I would love to get. Matthew Golden is somebody to keep your eye on during this process. He's phenomenal. And Emeka Egbuka is a really, really good scheme fit with Arthur Smith as well. So keep your guys' eyes on those 4 receivers as we get closer and closer to the big day in Green Bay. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you to everybody that made it to the end of this week's Steelers Talk mailbag. Thank you to everybody that submitted questions. I think every single question we had this week was a super chat. So thank you guys so much for donating to the channel here on the Steelers Talk live show. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button because we're going to be going live again on Thursday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, so I've got 10 more push-ups, right? And then I've got a boot.
I employed
Do they know what kind of boot?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Do you think I would lead you astray?
Maybe. I'm going to let you know what I mean by that.
I know what you mean by that.
Well, not alcohol.
No shit.
But
Duh.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
Do you not trust me?
Last time they fucked it up.
This guy doesn't trust me. After all I do for him, what a joke.
Well, last time you told an intern to go get a boot, it was wrong.
Maybe that was the only one they had available.
I think that was the case, actually. But, yeah.
Interesting.
All right, so let's get this going. By the way, guys, $10 will spin the wheel. $20 will spin the wheel 3 times, and you add 10 more push-ups to my total. If you got more questions, I'm happy to answer them. Just make sure you guys super chat. We got 208 people still watching live. So it's push-up time here on Steelers Talk. I got 10 more. My final 10, unless somebody puts in another 20 here. All right, Coop, you sending it over?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get it going. Push-up time. This is what we do in the offseason, man. We have fun here on Steelers Talk.
Always.
Oh, all right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh. All right.
How are the pecs feeling?
They're feeling, they're all right right
They're
now.
all right?
They're all right. I had a little bit of a break between.
When you wake up in the morning, are they going to be a little sore?
Oh, probably. They'll probably be a little sore on a Tuesday morning tomorrow. All right, man. So we got a boot on its way. By the way, how many more boots do we need to on the wheel do we need to get for you to do one? Do we still need all 3?
Yeah, we need all 3, I believe.
All right. So if you guys want to keep super chatting, that's great. If not, no worries. Coop, if you want to put on a 5-minute shot clock.
Yep.
5-minute shot clock. Hey, we made over $100 today.
Let's go.
On a Monday. That's great. Let's go. I love it. Christian Andujar says, hey, Coop, how's it feel not to be national champs?
Christian, I have the power to ban you from the channel, just so you know.
Unbelievable, man.
What a joke.
Ali the Reaper is asking Javonte Williams to the Steelers. Listen, man, Javonte Williams is cooked. I loved him coming
We're
out.
talking about the running back from the...
Yeah. I love Javonte Williams coming out of North Carolina, and he had a great rookie season. Then he gets hurt multiple times, and he's not good anymore. Like, Javonte Williams is not a good player, man. He's just not.
The brother's done.
Speaking of people that always get hurt, J.K. Dobbins. I've been hearing his name connected to the Steelers a lot lately. There we go.
Shout out Ave Dog.
Shout out the fun doctor, Avery. All right. Here we go. We've got my boot here.
Let's go.
Everybody spam chug in the chat. Let's get it going.
Oh, yeah. Spam those chugs. Sparrowed is crazy. Sparrowed is crazy.
She just called me Sparrowed. And
I'm going to start using that one.
I almost spit in my boot.
I'm going to start using that one. Pat Lepla with the $2 super chat. Shout out Pat Lepla says, do you think they should sign Justin Fields? Or do you think they will sign Justin Fields? Pat, I don't think they're going to bring back Justin Fields here with the Steelers. I think it's going to end up being Russell Wilson. Sperry, on the other hand, thinks it's going to be Fields.
I don't think it's going to be Russ. I just think it's not. As I'm stalling.
Yeah! Gary says, I'll donate my old Army boot. Gary, while that would be very nice of you, I don't think we're going to be drinking out any actual boots and or shoes on Steelers Talk. Appreciate you, though. Shout out to all the real ones who have super chatted. How about that? Over $100 on today's stream. That's awesome. Appreciate you guys. Well done, brother.
It's almost done. Not done yet.
Not done yet?
Still got a little bit left. All right.
You got it. You're there. You're there. Yeah. You're gonna have to waz about 15 times.
See, the thing
tonight.
is, I've been drinking water all day.
Oh,
so, like,
boy.
my stomach is, like, full.
That stomach's going to be rock hard,
So
baby.
that sucked. All right, man. I'll tell you guys this right now. If we can make $50 in the next 2.5 minutes, if we make $50, we'll stay live another 5 minutes.
Fair enough.
All right, we'll stay live another 5 minutes if we can get $50 in the next 2 minutes here.
Stomp says Fields will be back, but he's not the future.
Yeah, I think the chances of them turning to Fields and then he ends up not being like a top 10, top 15 quarterback,
I would say pretty high.
it's relatively high. He has to make some pretty significant steps. All right, and I understand that he looks great in the uniform. And I understand that he has incredible arm talent, dynamic rushing ability, awesome size. He does a lot of stuff well. It's just he does a lot of things not so well as well. Anticipation, vision, mental processing, timing in the pocket, all these different things. Pocket presence is an issue.
I would say those are important traits for QBs.
Those are important traits, and I think that those are things that he lacks in. He needs to get better at those things if he wants to have success. Joshua says, do you think Inc. Oh, I think he typed that in twice. Do you think the Steelers trade Sayamalo since it's the last year of his deal? I don't think so.
No, I think they have to keep him.
I think that they keep him because you look at the O-line, like, do you really want to add another question mark to this group?
So, because as of right now, it's Broderick left tackle, Sayamalu left guard, Frazier,
center, McCormick right, Fautano at right tackle. So, in my opinion, left tackle, right guard, right tackle, big question marks.
Yeah.
Sayamalo is as steady as you're going to get. I don't think that they trade him. I think what they do is that they probably draft somebody and
draft an interior guy.
Draft an interior guy to maybe develop and eventually take over for Sayamalu. But I think that I think they're going to stick with him. They love him. They love Sayamalu.
This may be an extremely foreign concept. Give an offensive player some money.
Yeah, how about that? I think right now Sayamalu makes the most money of any. It's Muth, right? Freiermuth makes the most, and then Sayamalu is your second highest paid offensive player. An interior lineman. What a joke.
Let's go, Omar.
Awareness A&A comes in with a 5. Says, I became a Steelers fan because of their loyalty, but this Tomlin situation is ridiculous. Don't
disagree, man.
This is an organization that prides itself on patience, on loyalty, on stability, and as long as Mike Tomlin is pumping out winning seasons, they're not going to replace him.
No. It's 11 out of 19?
What's that?
It's 11 out of 19?
Yeah.
I
mean, it's a lot. And honestly, I think 8 of them.
No, well, 11 double digit.
Yeah, 11
He hasn't had a losing season,
Yeah, 11 double-digit win seasons in 18 seasons, I think it is.
Yeah.
And then this will be his 19th coming
Unreal.
up. Almost 2 decades in the chair. So, and honestly, I think he gets to the 2-decade point. I said earlier in the show, I think they're going to keep him around until Cam retires.
Which could be 2-3 years.
2 years.
2 years.
He has said
2 years is it.
Before this year, he said 3 more years and he's retiring. So he's got 2 more years. And I think what's going to happen is they're going to let Tomlin ride out this next contract that he signed this past year. And then if he's not getting it done, they move on. I think that's probably what ends up happening. Joshua Bailey says, what do you guys think about Jackson Dart?
I like him.
I got a day 2 grade on him. He's not a first-round guy. I think that he's got some limitations. But I like some of the touch he throws with down the field. I like some of the anticipation stuff he puts on film.
What I'll say this, I know how much you Steelers fans love your TikTok boys. He's a TikTok boy.
Yeah, he is a TikTok guy. And if I know anything about the Juju Smith-Schuster and the Chase Claypool haters, they do not like TikTok people. So, and by the way, he's like best friends with Zach Wilson. So,
oh boy, is he really?
Oh boy is right. They trained together in the offseason. So, not to say Jackson, is gonna for sure stink like Zach Wilson does, but personally, I'm not super high on him. Gary says, Coop, I'll become a Black Diamond if they sign Fields.
All right, I'm screenshotting this.
All right, we're screenshotting it right now, Gary. You better be a man of your word, my friend. I think they're going to sign Fields.
I just took a picture of it, Gary.
I think they're going to.
Now I'm rooting for it.
now Coop's
rooting for it.
And if they, I do understand the reasoning to going and getting Fields.
No, me too. I absolutely get it.
First of all, he's affordable. That's the first
100%.
thing. You can get him if you can get him on a 2-year deal worth $30 million total. That's a steal.
Sure.
That's a steal for somebody with a bunch of upside. You know what I'm saying? He's got a shit ton of upside, and in the AFC, you got to have a dude.
I just think the chances of him leading the Steelers to even an AFC Championship appearance are slim.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to make significant steps forward. Hey, man, I'll ask you this. If they invest in the VR technology, would you be in on him?
It would warm me up for sure.
Yeah.
It'd warm me up. I don't think they will though.
I will say I would be all in if they invested in VR.
I wouldn't be all in, but I would definitely be more open to it.
I would be all in.
We know.
Because look what it did for Daniels. Look what it did for Marcus Mariota this year. Look what it did for Sam Darnold. Like every quarterback that touches this technology,
until
benefits from
until
it.
Sam Darnold's last 2 games where he shot himself.
That's true. He did shit himself. That is absolutely true. All right, man. That's going to be it for us today, guys. Thank you for sending in your super chats, having a bunch of fun with us here on Monday. We'll be back on Thursday for another edition of Steelers Talk Live, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Don't be late. We'll see you guys later. Here we go, Steelers.